Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. And since today is the 20th anniversary of the original Saw film, I thought it would be the right time to finally do a proper review of this movie. That and the fact that this is going to be part of my 31 days of Halloweenathon series. So before I start, at the time that I'm recording this. It's actually been about a month after the release of Saw X, and I kid you not, it took me about a month and a half just to find a Saw shirt. I can't believe it took that long. When I got it at the one place called Spencer's, even the employees there were surprised by how long it took for them to get it shipped to them, but whatever. Anyway, moving on to the actual film. I'll be honest, I put off seeing this entire series for so long. I didn't really get into watching it until I think after Jigsaw came out. Which I didn't see Jigsaw when it was in theaters. The first one I saw in the theater was Spiral. But I'm pretty sure that in preparation for Spiral to come out, I ended up binging through all of the Saw films. And actually, there's a little bit of a funny story there. So the first time I saw these films, I actually binged all the Saw movies 1 through 7 on my student computer during high school, and I was doing it during classes. And a couple of my classmates actually complained about it to my teacher, and my teacher just outright told him, well, as long as he got his homework done, I don't really care what he does. So there's a little funny story in there. And that was the first time that I binged all those movies. The second time, I actually binged the entire series, including Jigsaw, in a single day at home. I had to take a day off work to do that, but anyway, but when I saw the first film, I've seen the first film a few times now, and no, honestly, I mean, it's still pretty good. I think the story holds up even now, where two guys are trapped in a bathroom and they have to solve the series of puzzles to try and escape and or kill the other person. But basically, basically, it's pretty bare bones compared to the rest of the franchise. I mean, given that that was the first outing, compared to all the other installments, the movie is really toned down. There's not a whole lot of gore. Even the scene where Gordon is chopping off his leg. There's a few shots where it shows him starting to saw into it. And it shows a little bit of droplets of blood, but it doesn't actually show the visceral part of him sawing through the bone, say this most recent outing of Saw X does, where it actually shows the aftermath of the leg being cut off, and that one chick in Saw X has to stick that catheter or whatever in her leg and suck out the marrow. It doesn't show that in the original. But there are still some gnarly scenes, that whole segment where Amanda has her head in the reverse bear trap, that thing that's on my shirt right now. That was still gruesome and suspenseful in its own way, and the fact that she had to cut open a guy who's technically still alive to get to the key. That whole thing, that whole thing was creepy on its own. The main villain, Jigsaw, he's great. Not only in his voice recordings, but when the cops confront him, and even that twist at the end. I think easily the best twist that I've seen in a horror movie, where he was lying in a pool of blood the entire time, he was in the bathroom with Gordon and Adam. And then at the very end, he's revealed to like be a living person and the guy who put them there in the first place. That thing was just awesome. The music is amazing. I kid you not. Throughout, there were times in high school and like past high school and like college where I would literally listen to the Saw theme song while I was doing work. That's not, in my opinion, that's how catchy the music was. But all the other supporting characters, they're okay. The only I believe it's Danny Glover. It's one of the Glovers, but I'm pretty sure it's Danny Glover who plays the lead detective. For a few minutes, I actually thought that he was like the main villain. Because I mean, I kind of figured that Zepp wasn't the main bad guy in the movie. He just never struck me as a guy who was pulling all the strings. But I actually did think for a while that Danny Glover was the one who was the bad guy, despite already showing that scene of Tobin Bell like hooded in disguise and slashing his throat. Which, speaking of that whole that whole thing about how John Kramer saying that he's never killed anyone, so again, at this time, I've already seen Saw X where like even they poke fun at that whole thing. But even in the first movie, like he slashes a cop's throat and then basically leads the other detective into like doing this tripwire thing where the shotguns go off and kill the partner. So like I never really believed in the whole like I never killed anybody thing. That whole thing was just stupid. And even in the first film, it was never really believable because he does stuff like this. That's really the only gripe that I ever had with this film. Because aside from that, this movie is damn near perfect in my opinion. The other cast members, like for what little time they have, like the one who I can think of off the top of my head is Dr. Gordon's wife, who I can't even remember her name. I want to say it was Sarah, but I don't know. She's only been in a few scenes, but really, she was kind of forgettable to me. The only memorable thing I remember about her is that is the actress who plays her, and even that I forget about her name. I just know that she played like the main mom character in the show Parenthood. And the only reason why I know that is because I used to watch that show all the time with my family. Going back to Zepp, I mean, even though I figured that he wasn't the main villain, I still think he's okay, or at least the actor does an okay job playing him. The last time I saw him, he was on Arrow season 6, and even on the wiki page for him in the trivia, it says that he basically plays the same character in that show, where basically where it seems like he's pulling the strings, but he's really just a lackey for like the bigger threat being Ricardo Diaz in that show. But either way, I thought he did a pretty good job. Tobin Bell again was fantastic as Jigsaw, which again, a major kind of gripe I've had with the series in general was that they killed him off in the third film, and then he just kept on coming back for the flashbacks, which makes me believe that initially Saw 3 was supposed to be like actually the final film in the franchise. But studios got greedy and they wanted more money, so they kept on just pumping out Saw movie after Saw movie. I mean, they even said in the tagline, if it's Halloween, it must be Saw. But for what it was, even if this was just a standalone film, the original Saw was great, and really it's like a Halloween staple, and that's really why I covered this film. That and the fact that I'm releasing this on the 20th anniversary of it. But I mean, again, I mean, this should just go without saying. If you're a horror movie fan, like, check this one out. Like, it doesn't really get into like the torture porn subgenre like the sequels do. I will eventually cover Saw 2 because that one is still my favorite. Like, even after watching Saw X, I'd still watch Saw 2 over Saw X just because Saw X is like still relatively new. But either way, this is a great film to just watch on Halloween or in the month of October. And it's definitely a good movie, like, to ease you into like the torture porn genre without really getting too grisly or gruesome. At least not until the sequels came in. But that's it for this review, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another movie review. Bye, everyone.